Hello students, I am Kinjal Parmar. Welcome back to the video lecture series of microprocessor and microcontroller. Today we will discuss SPI protocol and programming in AVR. So let's discuss first what is SPI protocol. The SPI, that is serial peripheral interface, is a bus interface connections incorporated into many devices such as ADC, DAC and E2PROM. SPI device use only two pins for a data transfer called SDI, that is for D in, and SDO for D out. Instead of 8 or more pins used in a traditional bus, it only used 2 pins for data transmission in SPI bus protocol. This reduction of a data pins reduce the packet size and the power consumption drastically, making them ideal for a many application in which space is a major concern. The SPI bus has SCLK shift clock pin to synchronize the data transfer between two ICs or between two chips. The last pin of the SPI bus is a CE, that is chip enable, which is used to initiate and terminate the data transfer. So in a SPI bus protocol there are 4 pins: SDI, SDO, SCLK and CE, and this makes the SPI a 4-wire interface. So this is a previous first SPI bus protocol in which there is a SDO, SDI instructions, SCLK and CE. This microprocessor is connected with the SPI and it will transmit the data like this, and this is a conventional bus protocol in which continuously data is transmitted with this read and write and stop signals. So this is a SPI bus protocol and conventional bus protocol. This SPI bus protocol is used in many chips. This SDIE, SDO, SCLK and CE signals are alternatively named as MOSI, MISO, SCK and SSD. This is MOSI, that is master output slave input, master input slave output, clock and slave select dash. Okay, so here 2 types of SPI shift register: SPI shift register, clock generator, data bus for transmission. This is master and this is slave. This is a master output slave input and this is master input slave output. According to the directions of data transfer, master work as a output and slave work as a input, or vice versa. So this is a SPI bus protocol with master and slave. SPI consists of a 2 shift register, one in the master and the other in a slave side. Also there is a clock generator in the master side that generates the clock for this shift register. The serial out pin of the master shift register is connected into the serial in pin of the slave shift register by MOSI, that is master out slave in, and there is a other, that is master in slave out. The serial in pin of the master shift register is connected to the serial out pin of the slave shift register by MISO, that is master in slave out. The master clock generator provides the clock to the shift register in the both the master and slave. The clock input of the shift register can be of a falling or a rising edge trigger. So depending on that, either master or slaves will be active like this, and in the SPI shift register are of a 8-bit longs. It means that after 8 clock pulses, the content of the 2 registers are interchanged. When the master wants to send a byte of a data, it places the bytes in a shift register and generate the 8 clock pulses. After the 8 clock pulses, the byte is transmitted to other shift register. And here we have a SPI bus protocol. So when the master wants to receive a byte of a data, slave side should place the byte in its shift register. After 8 clock pulses, the data will be received by the master shift register. So this is how this transfer is occurred. SPI has a full duplex transmission, means that it sends and receive the data at the same time. So here we have a SPI programming in AVR. Most AVRs including 8 mega family members support SPI protocols. In AVR, 3 registers are associated with SPI. First is a SPSR, that is SPI status register, SPCR, that is SPI control register, SPDR, that is SPI data register. So let's discuss all these 3 registers one by one. First is a SPSR. So in a SPSR there are only 3 bits: SPIF, VCOL, WCOL, then unused bit, and SPI2X. So first SPIF, that is SPI interrupt flag. In a master mode, this bit is set in 2 situations: when serial transfer is completed or when the slave select pin is an input pin, and at this duration driven low by external device. Setting the SPI flag to 1 will cause an interrupt if SPIE in a SPCR is set and global interrupts are enabled. Then next is a WCOL, that is write collision flag. So WCOL bit is set to write on a SPDR during a data transfer, and bit 0 SPI2X, that is double the SPI speed when the SPI is in a master mode. Setting this bit to 1, this is SPSR. Now let's discuss about SPCR. So here we have all the 8 bits: SPIE, SPE, DORD, MSTR, CPOL, CPHA, SPR1 and SPR0. So first is a SPIE, that is SPI interrupt enable. Set this bit to 1 makes the SPI interrupt enable. SPE, that is SPI enable. Setting this bit to 1 enables the SPI. Then DORD, that is data order. This bit lets you to choose either the transmit MSB and then LSB, or we want to first transmit LSB then MSB. The LSB is transmitted first if DORD is 1, otherwise MSB is transmitted first. So this is a DORD bits. Now next is a MSTR, that is master slave select. So if you want to work in a master mode, then set this bit to 1, otherwise slave mode is selected. If the SS pin is configured as a input and it is driven low while MSTR is set, MSTR will be cleared and SPIF will become a set. Now next is a SPOL, that is clock polarity. This bit set a base value of the clock when it is ideal. This at a CPOL 0, then base value of the clock is 0, while CPOL is equals to 1, then base value of the clock is 1. So this is CPOL for clock polarity. Now next we have a SPCR bit is SPHA, that is clock phase. So if CPHA is equals to 0, it means samples on a leading clock edge, while if 1, then sample on a trailing edge. That means at a first or a second clock. Then bits 1 and 0 are SPR1, SPR0, that is SPI clock rate select 1 and 0. These 2 bits control the SCK rate of a device in a master mode. So this is these all are the modes in a SPCR, SPI2X, SPR1 and SPR0. So here we have a clock frequency. If all bits are 0, then FOC divided by 4. If 001, FOC divided by 16, 64, 128, 2, 8, 32 and 64. So these all are the deciding factor for a SPI clock frequencies. Now next we have a SPDR. So in a SPDR we have just MSB and all bits and then LSB. The SPI data register is a read and write register. To write into SPI shift register, data must be returned in a SPDR register, and to read from a SPI shift register, read the data from a SPDR register. So this is a SPI data register. Now let's discuss SPI programming in a AVR. So write AVR program to initialize the SPI for a master mode 0 with the clock frequency having a FOC is equals to 16 and then transmit the G via SPI repeatedly. Receive the data should be displayed on a port A. So for that we have to just initialize the values. So here we initialize some values, this detector is for SPI. So here M32 DEF IC, then here we assign a value for MOSI, that is 5, SCK for 7 and SS for 5 for 8 mega 32. Now first make a port A as a output. So for that DDRA is equals to FF, then set MOSI, SCK and SS output by deciding this pins. 1 is equals to MOSI, 1 SSK and 1 SK, and these bits are copied and sent to the DDRB registers. Now then here we decide enabling the SPI. So to enable the SPI we have a SPE and MSTR. So here we enable SPI, and to make a clock frequency FCLK by divide by 16, here we generate this SPR bits. Okay, so here we just set all the bits regarding this settings of FOC divide by 16, then mode 0, and here we have a master modes. Okay, now after deciding this, enable the slave device by CBI port B SS and then transmit this letter G into SPDR. So for that LDI R17G and R17 is equals to SPDR. So this is how we can write like this, and then wait over here for checking the values or check the transmissions complete. So here we have to check that if SPI flag is set or not. This SPI flag is set whenever transmission occurs. So here we check the values and continuously jump at a wait location. So continuously it will jump, and as soon as this bit is set, so it will goes to the next instruction, and at the next instructions we have a SPDR register which will copy into R18, and R18 is given to port A. So this is how G is transmitted on a port A using this instructions, and by then disable the slave device using this condition. So this is SPI programming in AVR using assembly. Here we have a SPI programming in a C. So here for C, just simply write libraries, then define the values for MOSI, SCK, then check MOSI and SCK as the output. So DDRB 1 MOSI, 1 SCK. Okay, and then make port A as output, then decide the values of SPCR, make SPE is equals to 1, MSTR is equals to 1, SPR0 is equals to 1, and then wait over here, and SPDR is equals to G. Whenever this SPI is active, then wait over here, and after this SPIF is enabled, then send this SPDR on a port A. So this is how we can turn a programming and we can perform data transmission using SPI programming in AVR. Thank you.